Have a motion that the closed meeting be closed and the board certifies that to the best of each member's knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting to which the certification applies, and only such business matters as were identified in the motion concerning the closed meeting were heard, discussed, or considered.
So moved.
Have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Ms. Shuttleworth, would you please certify?
Mr. Pereira?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Ferguson?
Yes.
Mr. Tanner?
Yes.
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 Mr. Bullock?
Yes.
Ms. Smiley?
Yes.
Mrs. Warner?
Yes.
Mrs. Wagstaff?
Yes.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. I'd like to welcome everyone here. We're running a little bit behind. Apologize for that. We tried to move it along. If you everyone would please stand and join us in Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. For those of you who wasn't present when we adopted the agenda, we moved H to the top of our agenda, which was superintendent's contract, which was H. We moved it to our first one. Mr. Bullock, I have a motion I'd like to make, and you need to be chair for just a minute. If I can find it in all my papers here. I move that the school board terminate Dr. Thornton without cause, effective immediately, on the terms as outlined in his contract.
Second.
All in favor? Okay, discussion?
About your kids.
Too late, we've already voted for discussion. You need to call for the ones opposed.
All opposed?
Did it carry?
Yeah. No, didn't carry.
It didn't carry? Motion failed? All right.
Failed.
I'm back to chair right now, right?
Okay.
I'm back now. All righty, everyone. We conduct our school board meetings in this room underneath a banner that asks, how well are our children? We know the answer to this question, with only one school in our entire division being accredited. Students not performing well on our SOL test. Our employees are overwhelmed, and our morale appears to be at an all-time low. Community support is waning, and it is apparent that a change needs to occur. The key factor in school and student success is leadership. I can no longer support the direction our school division is going under the current superintendent. I no longer have confidence that we are headed in the right direction. With this being said, effective immediately, I resign as chairman of Mecklenburg County Public School System. Mr. Bullock, enjoy the rest of the meeting, sir.
Mr. Bullock, may I make a comment, please? I would like to say that absolutely nothing was brought to us that was a fireable or a cause offense. And as a member of this board, it is my fiduciary duty to do what is best and financially best. And I cannot vote to let the superintendent go without cause and have to pay him $249,000 and take that from our students. And I will not do that. And that is why that I voted the way that I did. I still have confidence in our staff. I still have confidence that we're moving in the right direction. And if there was anything that I had been shown that would have proven that there was something wrong done, then I would have voted that way.
Mr. Chairman, will you control the meeting, please? Let's move on. The public is waiting.
for a meeting. We don't need to be hashing out how we feel.
Mr. Edwards, Mr. Chairman had made his comment. Cut you short, please.
I will, now I've lost my train of thought. But I just wanted to let the public know that there was absolutely nothing, no cause for him to be let go.
At this time, we have Senior of the Month, Dr. Hackney.
Yes, sir. I'd like to ask Alina Nicole Moody to come up. Alina Moody is Bluestone High School's November Senior of the Month. Alina is the daughter of Andy and Krista Moody and resides in Skipwood. She is a quiet and well-mannered child who strives to excel in all that she does. Alina attends the Governor's School of Southside Virginia, and still remains very active at Bluestone High School. She is president of the Out of the Blue and Gold Club and co-founder and co-president of the Anime Club, a club that views Japanese pop culture. Interesting. Mrs. Christina C., the sponsor of the Anime Club, describes Alina as a Governor's School student who does very well in her academic work. She also is involved in many extracurricular activities and is a trustworthy, hardworking student. Outside of her academics, Alina works at Clarksville Elementary School as a homework tutor. Alina has always enjoyed English. She would like to further her education in the field of English and hopes to become involved in the editing and publishing business. When asked about her college preferences, Alina stated she has been busy applying for colleges, but at this time, George Mason University and the College of William and Mary are her top choices. That's impressive. Alina Moody has truly exemplified the characteristics of an outstanding student. Bluestone High School is honored to have her serve as our November 2014 Senior of the Month. Members of the board would like to ask Megan Young to come up, our Senior of the Month for Parkview High School. Megan Young is the daughter of Joe and Kim Young of La Crosse, and her family attends services at Olive Branch Baptist. Megan's academic, extracurricular, and community achievements make her a deserving recipient of the Parkview Senior of the Month Award. Megan is a leader at Parkview, and she is involved in numerous school organizations. She is developing her leadership skills by serving as president of the Parkview High Future Business Leaders of America. In addition to leading the school chapter of the FBLA, she is the president of the Longwood region of the Virginia FBLA. She's one of 11 regional presidents who participate as state vice presidents at the annual state convention in Reston, Virginia. Megan feels that her FBLA opportunities have not only taught her how to be a leader rather than a follower of the crowd, but have also helped her network and make business connections. Megan uses her business and technical skills in her work with her father at Lakes Media Network, where she enjoys the broadcasts and running the radio station's computer software. Megan's work in and out of Parkview impresses all who know her. She's a member of the Beta Club as well as the Prom Committee. She enjoys performing arts by competing on the forensics team and in productions of one-act plays. She even volunteers as an usher at the Colonial Theater because she loves stage plays. As well, Megan enjoys helping others. She participates in causes such as Relay for Life and food bank collections, and she participates in mission work with Impact Virginia, where she spends part of her summer repairing homes to help shelter people in need. Mrs. Crystal Elmore is Megan's business teacher and FBLA sponsor. Mrs. Elmore describes Megan as, and I quote, a model student when it comes to academics and character. The top qualities Megan possesses in her character would be discipline, confidence, and trustworthiness. She has built a great reputation among her peers and teachers by displaying these great character traits, end quote. She is enrolled in the SVCC dual enrollment program. Megan will graduate with her associate's degree in May of 2015. She's already been accepted to both Liberty University and Roanoke colleges and is not sure which one she will select. She plans to earn a bachelor's in psychology, minor in business administration, and enroll in a graduate program to become a biblical counselor. Megan wants a career that allows her to use her communication skills to help people and to grow in her faith. We at Parkview are proud to have such a student walking our halls. join me in congratulating Megan Young as the November Parkview High School Senior of the Month. You'll have a seat. We'll have to take a minute to- Okay?
Next on the agenda, Dr. Hackney, is your professional development.
Members of the board, I am really excited to tell you about a recent professional development opportunity that we had that was led by our teachers, but I want to give you just a little bit of history. In the late spring, our Region 8 superintendents approved a partnership with Drs. Leslie Grant and Dr. Chris Garris from William & Mary. And the purpose of this professional development training was to improve what's called the assessment literacy of our teachers and instructional leaders in our school division, to work on the improvement of the alignment between our curriculum and our assessments, and the SOLs, same thing. These groups, representative of all the school divisions in Region 8, have met multiple times throughout the summer and the fall. On November 4th, they began providing this training to all of our content teachers, and we literally allowed them to design and administer training for our entire school division on that day. I want to introduce them to you, and then I want to tell you a little bit about what they accomplished. You all just want to come up? Those of you that are here, come on up. I have certificates for all of them. Kirsten Harris, not able to be here, okay. Catherine Jackson. Aaron Davis. There's her. Carletha's here, Charlie Gregory. Tammy Townsend is very sick, wanted to be here. Kristen Peebles. Monty Farrell's not here. Mary Glenn Coleman. Catherine Jackson, sorry. I want to just tell you a little bit. You've heard us talk a lot about the alignment of our written, taught, and assessed curriculum. These women, again, during their time off this summer, went to training several times and then came back, not just to deliver training to all of their peers, but so enthusiastic about what they had learned and what they wanted to share. We've talked before about best practices in professional development, and I'm going to tell you the results of what they delivered on the 4th were incredible. We had 2 high school representatives, 2 middle school representatives, and 4 elementary representatives. At the completion of the training, we asked 5 questions of all of our participants. What is an idea or skill that you learned or had strengthened today as a result of the training? What idea or skill that we used today was most needed by our teachers? What is the best way to help all teachers strengthen their assessment literacy? What topics would you like to see in future professional development? And finally, what did we do today that helped you the most? And I just want to share with you more as, I know you're interested, but more as an acknowledgement to all of them, because I'm not sure you've seen all this, and I'm going to share it with you, but this is 4 pages of comments from our teachers, and it's overwhelmingly positive. And I just want to share a few from question 5. What did we do today that helped you the most? The collaboration, the crosstalk. Emphasizing the point that the verbs may not fit neatly into the level of Bloom's taxonomy. Unpacking the curriculum. I think that will greatly benefit us for the rest of the year. Evaluating our assessments. Being able to work with our colleagues on common topics and able to come away with a complete assessment that I feel really good about using. Recognizing higher level concept questions. Collaboration with our SPED teachers. Countywide collaboration, again, by content area. Making sure the SOLs are covered and the assessments have addressed it. Our high school responses were, for example, this gave us time to apply strategies to our own materials and assessments. I have a greater understanding of the relationship between unpacking the SOLs and the assessments that we give to students. This training helped me reflect on how we are creating assessments and how we can improve them. This has been the most beneficial professional development I have experienced as an educator. It will serve as a basis for editing of my own curriculum and work. Working with teachers across the county who help to build stronger content for our students district-wide. providing opportunity to collaborate with veteran teachers in my subject area, the ability to talk face-to-face with my counterpart. I learned more from bouncing ideas off of her than when I try to go it alone. This training taught me better ways to ask questions when testing and new strategies to use. It really made me aware of how to work with other teachers and to learn from them. This was a formal process of evaluation that we administered after the training. I also received several emails, and I just want to read you two that I pulled that I thought were wonderful and representative of the great work that these teachers did. This is from an elementary teacher. Dr. Hackney, I just wanted to tell you that this email is something that every teacher cherishes. I thank them for their enthusiasm. It's so nice seeing the younger teachers digging in as well. It really means a lot to be recognized for the dedication and taking the time to acknowledge it. We appreciate all you and your team do. Not having deadlines enables better thought and eliminates rushing. Even as long as I've been teaching, I truly learned something today. I really liked working with teachers across the county, and my grade level today was so productive for us. It raised our confidence, our team spirit, and helped us maintain belief in our goals countywide. This is just an example of one secondary email. Dr. Hackney, even as a veteran teacher of 20 years, I learned so much today. When trying to unpack my SOLs, I never understood that one learner objective could be categorized under many levels of Bloom's taxonomy. This was frustrating to me until today. Thank you and your team for all that you did today. It was a wonderful training. So I'd like to say publicly, thank you for what you did. You have shown and been the example that when we use each other and collaborate with each other and invest in what the expertise that you bring, the feedback is just tremendous. And as a result of this, members of the board, we are going to dedicate our January professional development meeting to follow up with these fine teacher leaders. So join me in congratulating them and thanking them for their hard work. Erin's going to share a little bit about her experience.
Dr. Hackney did a really good job of kind of giving the background of how this all came to be. But we were really excited and energized after we left our conference. It was just so awesome. You know, right now SOLs are a hot topic. It's something that a lot of people are struggling with. The SOLs have changed. The tests have changed. And, you know, students, when it's not enough just to teach the content anymore. You can't skill and drill your way through an SOL test anymore. And so what we're having to do as teachers is we're having to adapt. And the experts at William & Mary, they gave us some very helpful tools. We're taking our curriculum and we're digging into it deeper than we've ever really dug before. We're taking our content and we're breaking it down, looking at the verbs that they use when they write the SOLs, and we're translating that into Bloom's taxonomy. Each teacher is working on creating tables of specifications. And basically what that is, it's a table where you can map out what exactly every child needs to know, but at what cognitive level they need to know it. Because it's not enough just to know it. Sometimes we have to teach them how to analyze, how to evaluate, create. Not everything is just basic knowledge or understanding. So that's what we've been working on with the teachers. And it's not that our teachers don't know their content, but it's the way that the questions are asked is changing. So that's what we focused on. We worked on unpacking our curriculum in a new way, creating tables of specifications. And these tables are our blueprint for how we teach, because the main goal is to make sure that what we're teaching is aligning with what we're assessing and trying to make our assessments as closely aligned with the SOLs as we can. Because if we can train our students in our classrooms, then they're better prepared for the test at the end of the year. So we're very hopeful. We're very excited. The teachers in professional development, they worked very hard. Teachers from Bluestone working with Parkview and teachers from all the elementary schools sitting down together and working together. It was awesome. I loved seeing the teachers so excited and so engaged. Even though it was something new, we're not reinventing the wheel. We're just tweaking what we're doing, and we're trying to be the best that we can be. So we really enjoyed it. I thought it was great.
Dr. Hackney, up again.
Yes, sir. Last time. Members of the board, as you know, every year at this time, the School Board Association recognizes school board members from all over the state that have earned certain levels of distinction with respect to the number of points in professional development activities they have participated in their school board member academy. And all of our school board members, as well as Dr. Thornton, have earned some level of recognition. Tonight we have 2 members, and it's based on points and credits, 2 members who are receiving the recognition level, 3 members who are receiving the achievement level, and this, as more points you have, the more the distinctions go up. There are 2 members receiving the level of distinction of excellence, 2 members receiving the distinction of honor, and 1 member receiving the highest for 84 plus academy points for the honor of distinction. I'm assuming you know who you are. Receiving the recognition are Mrs. Mary Hicks and Mr. Dale Sturdivant. Three board members receiving the level of achievement, the award of achievement: Joan Wagstaff, Deborah Smiley, and Glenn Edwards. Two awards of excellence, Mr. Robert Prier and Mrs. Sandra Furtan. I've just done them all at the same time. To the level of honor, award of honor, to Mrs. Garner and Dr. Thornton. Our distinguished board member, the award of distinction for 84 plus points over a 2-year period, and that is our Vice Chair, Mr. Thomas Bullock.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Next thing on the agenda is 2 student board members. Who are they? You going to? Okay.
Good evening, Dr. Thornton, school board members. Can Destiny Staten please come up? Destiny is a junior at Bluestone High School. Her parents are Joseph and Cynthia Staten of Chase City. She is a member of Bethlehem Baptist Church. She is in the Governor's School program at Southside Virginia Community College, where she is in the Humanities strand. She has been an active member of the Bluestone Marching Bands for 4.5 years, where she plays the clarinet. Destiny is very involved in her school. She is a member of the Beta, Scholastic Bowl, Relay for Life, SOTA, and Yavaso clubs. Her future plan is to attend a university where she will major in physical therapy. I now give you the 2015-2016 Student Liaison, Destiny Staten.
Can Noah Nichols come up? Noah Nichols is our next student liaison after he tries to beat me off.
Be a tough job.
Next year he'll graduate with his associate's degree from Southside Virginia. Last year in April he was awarded Student of the Month. He was also an awarded member of cross country and first place in Longwood Region FBLA for parliamentary procedure. He's also vice president of the school's FBLA, and Megan is president. He works at Brian's Steakhouse and Lounge. He's a host and caterer. Not as good as the horse. He's the vice president for FBLA. He's the Parkview High School cross-country team captain. He's a member of Beta Club of America, National Society of High School Scholars, and he did the superintendent's focus group a little while back. Volunteer activities, South Hill United Methodist Church Youth Group, South Hill Bread Box, South Hill Revitalization Committee, Project ASS, Angel Tree, Madeline's House, and South Hill Relay for Life. I think he's a very qualified individual. I've known him for a few years. He almost likes politics as much as I do, not quite as much, but he'll do a good job, and I'm glad to see him here.
We'll take a few minutes to go ahead and meet them. We're going to take a few minutes to go and meet the awardees. Parkview Middle School Buddy presentation.
Good evening, school board members and Dr. Thornton. My name is Natalie Hernandez. This year in Miss Wright's class, we read a short story called Raymond's Run. This story was based on a girl who enjoyed running in races. She had an older brother who had Down syndrome, special needs, and was picked on by his peers. He didn't understand why people picked on him and why his sister was protective over him. One morning, she had a race, and she took Raymond with her. During the race, Raymond was racing on the sideline having fun. When she looked at him, she smiled, won the race, and thought about giving him the opportunity to learn all about racing. This book inspired my class to work with special needs students at Parkview Middle School. Together as a class, we thought about being buddies with these students and participating with them in different events such as prep rallies, dances, fundraisers, and incorporating social network to reach out to the communities to support our project. During this project, we thought of an idea of making bracelets for our class, teachers, the ones involved, and the special needs students. On this bracelet, we put special in our own way on the front. On the back, we put 2014 through 15. These bracelets will represent our project and to make people know that everyone is special in their own way.
Good evening. My name is Camden Tanner, and in this project we have to use the 5 habits of heart and mind, and they are respect, effective communication, perseverance, integrity, and creativity. We also have to interact with the diverse students in a positive manner. One of the habits we use the most is effective communication. Some of the children can't respond or talk back to us. Sometimes they don't understand what we are saying, and sometimes they get angry or even sad. Some of the children can't speak as well as others, so there are times when they may not know what they are saying, but they still respond back with a smile. We ask them what they like sometimes, and they can't tell us. But the ones that cannot talk, they either communicate by pointing at the object.
Good evening. My name is Zach Kern. While working on this project, we have incorporated the standards of learning as well as real-world skills. We have had several guest speakers come to our classroom to educate us on the characteristics of students with disabilities. We have also presented to a small group while answering questions about our projects from a small panel of educators. We have researched 5 different major disabilities using academic research methods and collaboratively created an essay on our research. This essay was edited by 3 different peers, and we presented our findings to our class. We constantly provide feedback to our peers using kind, specific, and helpful information and use technology to incorporate video journals of our field experiences. We are becoming learners in all areas of this project. We are also creating readers' theater plays to present to the 6th graders. We want them all to catch on our project and be the voice for our buddies. Our class collaborated in groups to research a type of physical/mental disability and created a chart to acquire answers to our questions. We wrote an essay to express our opinion and shared our experience with our peers, using specific vocabulary for the audience in our presentations. We try to put our knowledge to use and show what we know in our writing with a wide vocabulary throughout the work. In our class, technology is more of an essential tool to assist project with things such as writing, research, and visual aids to help the project's quality and feel. It's also a very useful tool for communication and sharing things on social sites such as pictures and opinions and experiences.
Good evening. My name is Morgan Stanley. There are many different goals we plan to accomplish with our buddy system. I think our biggest goal is to increase the social skills of students with disabilities at Parkview Middle School. A few of our other goals are to show the students with disabilities that they deserve the same amount of respect that we receive from our fellow peers and teachers, and to promote awareness around our school and community about children with special needs. Our future goals are to create a scrapbook of all of our adventures and fun times with our buddies, hopefully go to the Special Olympics in January, create a permanent program here at school and other schools dealing with the special needs children, and decrease the bullying of special needs children around Mecklenburg County and especially at Parkview Middle School. We are in the process of getting special bracelets for the children in our class. This symbolizes our promise to constantly be a leader and a friend. We are very excited for the upcoming events at Parkview Middle School.
This Thursday, when Miss Virginia came, she gave a speech for the 8th graders and 2 7th grade classes. She explained to us that the special needs students at our school are no different than us. She also told us about her younger brother, Austin, and how she felt when she grew up around him, and feeling angry when people picked on him, and stared at him as though he was a monster. He couldn't understand why people didn't love her brother for who he was and not based on his looks and disabilities. She also told us that one day, when she was interviewing before her pageant, the interviewer stopped her and said, "It's offensive to call them disabled. Instead, you should refer to them as obstacles or challenges." She later stopped and thought about her brother not being able to walk, run, or jump. She said math was a challenge for her, but eventually she could understand math. He could never walk, so it wasn't a challenge. It's a disability. Once she was done with her speech, we went to the library to eat lunch with our buddies. After we finished eating, we went outside to take pictures and then had a question and answer session with her. A lot of people in my class were enlightened by her speech and were thankful for her to come out and speak to us. Her passion for her platform was exemplified in the way she treated our buddies, and she has inspired us to get our program, PVMS Buddies, to grow into a larger community project. Since some of you could not make it to see Miss Virginia, we got you a little something.
I took a picture with her.
Did you? Thank you.
And I chose you guys because, you reached out to me and I knew you guys had read the story and you guys were inspired by it and wanted to do something about it. And you guys are close to my hometown. I'm from a small town, and, I just kind of wanted to show other students who kind of came from a small area like I did that, you can do anything. It doesn't matter where you came from or what background you have, that you really can do anything you want to. And I was able to, with other people's help and hard work, I was able to go be on the national stage in a big, really small town. So that limit you. And just seeing what you guys are doing and even more today, it's absolutely incredible. I haven't seen anything like it anywhere else. And as I continue to travel, I'm going to take what you guys are doing and bring it to other people and say, look what Parkview Middle School is doing. These kids were inspired. They took the initiative. They did the effort. They're making a difference on the field. Why aren't your students doing it too? So what you guys are doing is great, and I want other schools to get on board.
That was a wonderful program. I did attend it, and the kids were real happy, and I was overjoyed with their participation. And at this thing, next down the agenda, Dr. Thorne, is the Parkview. Yeah, you want to make comments?
I just want to say that I think this is an awesome program, and thank you for what you're doing. And it looks like that this could be something for other schools in the state. So just think you all started this, and you are going to make this happen in other areas. So thank you.
Are there any more comments? No, Dr. Thornton.
Next are overnight field trips, and they're in your packet. There's several there. This is first read. If you have any questions about the field trips, you can call before next month, and we'll answer those for you if you have any questions tonight. But this is first read and for approval next month.
And the next thing on the agenda is the authorized signatures in the superintendent's absence.
Okay, this is a requirement from VDOE. It requires an authorized signature in absence of the division superintendent, and we request that you allow Mrs. Tracy Rogers and Dr. Melody Hackney to sign any official correspondence in the absence of the division superintendent. And we will need to approve this at the December board meeting as well. Any questions about that?
The next thing is the personnel, in the School Board Association Policy, Section G.
Yes. Good evening, school board members, Vice Chairman, Dr. Thornton. We are now at VSBA Policy, Section G, which is personnel. In this section, personnel is presented for first read. Topics in this section include employee benefits, compensation, leave, assignments, contracts, hiring procedures, and any other topics that are pertinent to the employees of the Mecklenburg County Public Schools. This section will replace Section 5 of our current policy. Also, as we stated earlier, there's times that we need to add regulations to the policy, which are in the packet, and they reflect what we currently have in our policy to GCBC and GCBD, which are staff benefits and staff leave and absences. So if you have any questions prior to the December vote, please feel free to contact me and I'll try to answer your questions. Thank you.
Ms. Tuck?
Good evening, school board and Dr. Thornton and student liaisons. Mecklenburg County Public Schools would like the school board to approve the scope of work proposal from Honeywell for our HVAC at our secondary schools under the Government Services Administration, GSA, Cooperative Purchasing Agreement under Schedule 084. The GSA agreement allows government agencies to contract services through this procurement, which allows us to receive the best value from scheduled contractors that have already been approved by the federal government. This procurement is available to meet our needs for heating our schools. After reviewing the GSA available companies, MCPS selected Honeywell to continue to replace, repair our HVAC systems in our divisions. Do you have any questions? You should have the attachment of everything with the proposal.
We have a total amount of, what, $435,400
I think the total was $427.
Okay. Do we have a breakdown of that anywhere?
It is. It breaks it down under each one. If you look, it should have the price. Well, he didn't put that.
I didn't see that.
I'm sorry. No, but I can get that for you.
Okay, I didn't see a breakdown.
Okay, I'm sorry. It was in there, so I can certainly get that for you. Any other questions for this?
Okay. Ms. Tuck, you have the next
Yes.
part, drug testing, screening.
Okay, as you all may be aware, we had our first secondary MCPS initial drug screenings. I think Nurse Nancy Mooney is with us today, too. Yes. Okay. First, we assembled the team. Philip Coe and his team came up here. We had his team available at all of our sites, and this is Coe Management, the company that we went with. Also, we had Dr. Hackney, myself, and Nancy Mooney and the principals. And we just made sure that we had everything together for this first round because we wanted to make sure we didn't have any mistakes and that we did it right and we were taught how to do it correctly. Okay. On that day, the list of names was brought by the third company and third party. They went to each school, the supplies were counted out, divided, and extra supplies were brought as well. We notified each team. Dr. Hackney went with the team to BMS and BHS, and Ms. Mooney formed a team and worked with Parkview Middle School and Parkview High School. I was able to go around to 3 of the schools that day to make sure that everything was working well, and they all reported back that things were going well. Okay. The schools networked staff members and were given a list of names with alternates to be tested. Staff members located the students and brought them to the waiting area. Students were under adult observation for every step, and nurses tested the students and completed the paperwork. We wanted to make this least impact to our instructional time so that we could make it as smoothly as possible. At Bluestone High School, there were 55 tests done. 1 was sent for confirmation. 26 tests done at Bluestone Middle, 58 at Parkview High School. 1 was sent for confirmation. And at Parkview Middle School, 36 tests were done and 1 was sent for confirmation. No test is considered absolutely positive until the confirmation results are obtained. We had 2 confirmed negatives from those second tests, and then we had 1 confirmed positive, and this student had appropriate documentation of prescribed medication. So out of 175, we had 1 positive with the medication brought in with her correct prescription. So that was the results of our first test. Yes. Not at this time because that contract doesn't end until January. So, yeah, yes, and we're going to look into when that comes around for renewal to see that if we can do the same company, and we've had talks with that already.
Who is Mr. Coe?
Mr. Coe is he has co-management, and that's our third party that we go through. Our third party does the random selection of students. Our third party does the random selection of the date. Our third party has the testing materials, and that's who we went. That's who our management company of the drug screening is with.
All right. How did he choose the students? Where did he get their names?
Okay, so what happens is that when a student is involved in the extracurricular activities, as the policy states, or drives to school, any of those things that they're part of, they have a consent form. The student and parents sign those. Then those names are put into our student information system, and then an extract is taken from that and sent to the third party for them to randomly select.
One more question.
Sure.
If they refuse to bring the signed form back, are they denied the privilege to drive to school or participate in an activity?
Our policy says that you have, in order to participate, that you have to bring that consent form back.
And that's
what our pledge. That's part of our pledge.
And that is to drive to school also.
Yes, because yes.
Okay.
I did have a parent ask if we could streamline this a little bit as far as not having to send home 42 different, if they're in a lot of different clubs.
We already made those adjustments that very soon after the very first meeting, Ms. Bailey came and she came to the board meeting, we discussed that. We then sent out information that if your child is already in the system and they've signed on that, they don't have to sign off on it again. Yes.
Ms. Tuck?
Yes.
In the future, is this the way you're going to present to the board the results, even if we have positive results? Is this the format in which you're going to do to show the board where we're at in our school division?
If that's the request of the board.
No, I'm not saying it's the request.
Okay.
You presented this tonight with no positive confirmations. My question, in the future, are you going to present it the same even though we may have positives?
We may have to do that. Again, if it's requested by the board for this information, and I understand what you're saying, I think that we just wanted to get this out in the open, to let everyone know how it went the first time. We did have a few bumps. One of the things that we've done, we've already changed the consent form to add the student ID number on there. Okay. So again, to make sure that we've debriefed with everyone afterwards to streamline our process, to make it better. You know, if the board, if that's what we so desire, to present it this way, yes, but really this was for us to get through this first policy and how we were able to accomplish and go through this.
So in the future, the board will have to request to see the data.
I can answer that. We'll show it to the public every time. The whole idea of the program is to help our young people if they do have a problem. So, I mean, we'll be very transparent. If we have a problem, we'll address it.
Again, I know it seemed almost a celebration that with all these kids tested and no one came positive. I just want to make sure that if we have a negative, is it going to be treated the same with the openness and the video presentation?
Right, right. And I understand, and I think that's something that we have to discuss as a team, if that's something that we want to do and move forward. I mean, certainly we want the information for everyone to understand the information, but I think as a team that we need to make that decision.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next thing on the agenda is the student, Ms. Mills and Mr. Wilson.
Every month we have a project that we like to do. When I first became student liaison, me and Dr. Thornton met, and Macy and Dr. Thornton met, and he provided us a guideline of month to month what he'd like to see us do, so that every month at the meeting we could provide a report. And this month we were given the assignment to come to do a focus group like we did at the high school, but at the middle school and elementary schools of our respective ends of the county. And I did mine at South Hill Elementary and Middle School this past week, and I'll be at La Crosse tomorrow. I was trying to get it done before the meeting, but I have the South Hill and Middle Schools right here. And starting with elementary, they did I was very impressed by the kids, because the very first thing that was brought up was they wanted to give a thanks to the janitors and the special teachers because they do such a great job and they don't get much appreciation, and that's the first thing that one of the kids brought up as something they wanted to see. And I talked to Ms. Crutchfield, and she said that the students do have this meal item. It's just the way the department, or the federal department, has guidelines. They don't get it. It just couldn't be scheduled for a while. But I promised the kids I would let it known that they really liked tater tots. And also, they wanted more programs, and I thought when they said, we want more programs, that it was something fun or to get them out of class. But they wanted programs, and their example was where they could bring stuff they have at home that they don't need, that they could give out to people in the public who are needy and need more stuff, and stuff to encourage the younger students to learn. And they did say space was a problem, and they wanted better incentive for the iReady that they do, like games, because they answer so many questions, they get to play online games. They thought the incentives, they could play more games. They wanted to be able to help the older kids who wanted to. They wanted to be able to help the smaller kids. They wanted to be able to help the pre-K and the kindergarten kids if they needed to. They wanted hall monitors and more playground equipment. And they did say, on a serious note, that bullying in the elementary schools was a lot more serious than the adults may know. And I said that one of the programs that they could do could definitely be to have a bullying prevention program done in the elementary school, and I mentioned this in the middle school when we talked about bullying, as a long-term prevention for bullying in the middle schools, so the kids could learn and understand the effects of bullying. And the middle school did a great program with Miss Virginia, who came by and talked about her little brother. And moving on to the middle school, they did say that with Cortez Math, they wanted to see more interaction with the teachers, and that seemed to be more of a popular opinion, but me and Mr. Maybe talked, and I'm actually really impressed by Mr. Maybe. He wasn't there very long. He hasn't been a principal for there very long. He just started, and he seems to be bringing very modern ways of teaching, and the way that he assembles the blocks and the students. I was very happy to see that, and I was impressed myself. A lot of things have changed from when I was in middle school, and for the better. They said that most of their complaints and what they didn't like could be revolved around new facilities, overcrowding. They all said that it was overcrowded, that some of the facilities were outdated, the way that they were maybe not up to specs because they were so old and they weren't as clean as they could be, simply because they couldn't be cleaned any farther than, because they're so old, they couldn't be cleaned any better. And they said for Ms. Bailey is the president of the Parent-Teacher Administration, And they said there was one kid who just came from a school where they have a very active parent-teacher administration, and he said, and Mr. Maybe told me to actually put a star beside it so that he could write it down later, that we could send more information to the parents from the school to get more interaction with the parents, because he does post stuff online on a forum that on the middle school website, but most of the people who go into the forum and use that much dedication are the parents who are already dedicated and already know that stuff. So if they send stuff through the mail, it'd be a better way to get in touch with all parents. And they thought they definitely needed more buses. That was an issue. And that's all the information that I received. I got 2 pages from both schools, and we had to cut both meetings short. I was a little nervous because I was like, oh God, I can't get them to talk. They're not going to talk. But they got rolling, and they knew exactly what they wanted to say. And for the middle school visit, I brought Noah with me, the next student liaison, because he came with me, and he took notes the entire time. He saw how everything worked, and he did a great job. And next year, when it's his turn, he won't be nervous because he sees that the kids are very willing to talk. So I'll turn it over to Macy.
Good evening, Dr. Thornton, school board members. I would like to first congratulate the students, the teachers, the school board members, and Dr. Thornton that got recognized tonight. I also went to Clarksville Elementary on my respective side of the county. I have Bluestone Middle School to go and Chase Elementary, but I'm getting there. So, but what's really disturbing to me, bullying has come up for Clarksville Elementary as well. And hearing what Chris, it's a problem, and we need to fix that. So last Tuesday, I had the pleasure to meet with the 10 wonderful students, and they really were. And Mrs. Dalton at Clarksville Elementary, and then what I was saying, one thing that kept coming up was bullying issues. And I was thinking like, since Bluestone High School has a very active anti-bullying program, I proposed that they go to Clarksville Elementary to talk to them about the signs and consequences of bullying so that they can start at an early age to know the signs and everything. But there was one thing with all the students that was the same. The kids are very passionate about their classes, especially their special classes like art, library, and music. So, and like Chris said, I always thought that the students were very shy or they didn't want to talk, but they were very open, and we had to cut it short as well. They also talked about they wanted more recess time, more playground equipment, more lunch time, all the kind of things that students, little kids, want. And then during the month of October, students at Bluestone High School participated in Spanish projects to create altars called the Day of the Dead. The purpose was to create ofrendas to honor someone who has passed. Bluestone High School students presented their ofrendas to groups from both Bluestone and Parkview Middle Schools on November 5th and 6th. And I personally went down the hallways and I saw all the kids, and they are so creative, I will say. They were very artistic, and they took a lot of time in their projects. Thank you.
Good evening, school board members, vice chair, Dr. Thornton, student liaisons. This is about teacher pay, and I know Dr. Thornton has brought this up several times in our school board meetings. You should have a flyer in front of you that says, why should we as a community be concerned? This flyer was a collaborative effort. Ms. Tuck, myself, Dr. Thornton, we did some research, put this together. Just one of one of the goals of the strategic plan is to recruit, select, induct, develop, support, promote, compensate, and retain effective educators. I just want to say again that on the exit interviews, it is when it's asked what can we do differently or what can we do better to support the teachers here in Mecklenburg County, the overwhelming response is the salary scale needs to be improved and benefits need to be improved. The chart that you see here is our current salary scale and how we compare to Region 8 counties. As you can see in red, our 10-year veteran teacher salary compared to the starting salaries of the counties that are highlighted in green is below the starting salaries of 6 different counties in Region 8. And that's a 10-year Mecklenburg teacher makes less than a starting teacher in those 6 counties. With that being said, it's very difficult to recruit teachers in our region to come to Mecklenburg based on where we have our salary scale currently. If you'll look on the back, there are 2 more charts that are given. If increases are funded, and this next chart reflects increases for next year's salary scale, and it says if increases are funded in the first year, the cost would be $857,000, and that's based on our current employees and where they fall on the steps. And if we started them at $36,500 to increase that salary scale, we would be making progress toward this. And this is a 5-year strategic plan. So in the last year, if increases were funded every other year as recommended, and that can be seen on the spreadsheet that you've got on the back page, and I think he shared that with you before. So if increases were funded every other year, MCPS would rank 2nd highest pay in each category, and the total cost over the 5-year period would be $2,415,177. Again, this is an estimate based on what we currently have today. We are also very fortunate to have Mr. Witten here. He is the president of the local Mecklenburg Education Association, and he is actually going to share with us some information and about our teacher salary scale. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm glad to have the opportunity to speak to you tonight. And these are just a few comments that I've put together that I feel that come from me as a teacher in this county. Tonight I want to speak to you about the concern that many of us share about teacher salaries. The public is beginning to recognize that quality education begins with quality teachers who earn a professional salary. If we as a community truly want to attract, retain, and motivate the best and the brightest teachers in our public education classrooms, we need to raise teacher salaries to be competitive with other local school divisions and other professions. What attracts a college graduate in education to come to this area? As for many of us, this is where we grew up. This is where we began our teaching career, and we will most likely complete our teaching career here also. Some may locate here because of the lake or the small town rural life. However, though, many of our graduates today are very mobile. They may not have the family ties or the desire to come to teach where they went to school. They want to see the world, and when they're looking for a place to teach, they look at salary and benefits of that location. Over the years that I've been in Mecklenburg, I have seen many of our fine teachers teach here for a few years, then leave to find a job with a higher salary. Many look toward Northern Virginia for that place, a larger metro area, or many out of state. To me, it's only common sense. Our salaries must be respectable and a competitive salary with not only those locals in Region 8, but statewide. We are competing against 132 school divisions for the best and brightest. In 2012, the average salary in Mecklenburg was $43,000, which ranked us 103rd in the school divisions across the state. The average teacher salary in Virginia in 2012 was almost $50,000, which puts us behind about $7,000. The average teacher salary in the United States was $56,383. That puts us behind over $13,000. The top salary plus a master's degree on this year's scale in Mecklenburg will not even match the average teacher salary in the United States in 2012. That's what I make. I'm at the top of the scale with a master's degree, and I do not even make what the national average was in 2012. I have been speaking to you and the Board of Supervisors for over 30 years on where the Mecklenburg school system ranks with other school systems in Virginia. As a school system, our salaries have always been at the bottom or near the bottom of the state. When will everyone see that higher teacher salaries is an investment in our future and an investment in our students? Is it our goal to reach the national average? No, that's just like a moving carrot. But we can work toward a competitive salary, which is, again, attractive and respectable, with at least the counties in Region 8. Now, how do we keep our teachers here in Mecklenburg? Just from my observation, a staff in a school that stays together with very little turnover from year to year will be more of a productive and cohesive staff. Teachers become more aware of the students and their families, the community, and the expectations of the administration. Retaining teachers in a rural area presents its own set of problems. We have hired many qualified teachers from out of state and from areas around Virginia. But so often, after a few years, the urge to go home to be near their family, the distance from a larger city, geographic location, cultural events, and the opportunity to move up in their profession causes many of us to leave. However, many leave for a higher salary and benefits. Some of our very own that went to school here in Mecklenburg leave for that higher salary. It's only natural. You have to provide a competitive salary for your employees. What motivates us? Think about the professions that have huge salaries and benefits for their employees. Are they really motivated by their high salary? And I really don't know the answer to that. Would I be motivated by a higher salary? And that's hard to answer also. Because as a teacher, I am motivated to make a difference in a child's life. And as a teacher, we really don't see our finished product until that child becomes a productive adult. Would I work hard if I were paid more? Probably not. But I want to be paid a respectable, competitive salary for what I do now. The salary increases that we have received over the years have been eaten away by health insurance increases, basic living cost, and to offset our 5% VRS contribution that the General Assembly gave us in place of a 5% salary increase many years ago, only to have them take that benefit away from us 2 years ago. Again, is a higher salary a motivation? If we are honest, I would have to say probably we would all say yes. Our teachers are working harder than ever in our schools. An increase in salary does say we respect you and you are appreciated for the job that you do. The saying, you didn't go into education to get rich, is true. But think about it. Who goes into any profession just to get rich? But wouldn't it be better if we could say to those students wanting to go into education and to our colleagues that our teacher salaries in Mecklenburg are respectable and they are competitive with those localities across the state of Virginia. We are professionals and we deserve to be paid a professional salary. Think about your own children. Are they motivated to go into education? And I know most of your children. I think one has gone into education. Did you encourage them to become a teacher? As teachers, do we encourage our best and brightest students to go into education? 2 examples here. I don't know their plans, but has someone asked you, are you going into education? They can answer that for you. If we don't, why don't we? Each of you will have to answer that question. If we are serious about attracting and retaining and motivating the best and the brightest employees to be in our classrooms, we have to raise teacher salaries that are competitive. That process can begin tonight. I urge you to support a more competitive salary scale for our teachers. And while I'm speaking for our teachers, I also urge you to look at the salaries of all of our support personnel. They too deserve a salary that is at least reflects a living wage. Look at where we are and look at where you as a school board would like us to be when it comes to teacher salaries. How do we get there? That's up to you. Thank you.
So move.
Second.
All in favor of discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Next on the agenda is paying of the bills.
Who checked the bills?
Check the bills.
So move. now.
Mr. Puryear went over the bills, but Mrs. Garner also went over the bills and called me with several questions earlier today that I would like to discuss. Or would you like to discuss? Am I on? Can you hear me?
Do you want me to do it, or do you want?
Either way.
Okay.
Either way.
Under the instruction to Ripton Equipment, it was 4 checks, 1,420, 380, 315, 115. That was one.
Those were, we just had that. Special education purchases various equipment for special education children is what I found on that.
All right, and then same, 2,836.19 Pearson Education. You also said that was special education.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, then I questioned $3,150 paid to Crowder's driver improvement.
Yes, ma'am.
And she explained that this was a salary paid to Mr. Crowder to teach classes while one of the PE teachers got his certificate. Then on administration, $10,660 RDA, $25,491 RDA, and according to Ms. Garner, this was the bookkeeping system that has been installed.
Yeah, well, it's the annual fee for our accounting system, which includes the employee self-serve, our purchase orders, our check writing, and our receiving. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then it was 2 for Service Solutions, $61,341.64, and it was twice. And she explained that sometimes they bill us late, so it shows up on the same month, but it's 2 different months.
Yes, I believe one was paid on 10/23, and then the other one was paid with the normal bills this month that got here on time.
Yeah. And I'm skipping one for the time being.
Okay.
All right. $5,130 to Eugene, and I am not going to try to pronounce his name. Samsung 303C representative.
Yes,
and I'm not sure what that was.
They were replacement screens, and I will let Mr. Gregory address that.
Okay, hang on. We'll get you in a minute.
You didn't explain about.
Well, the rest of it is on here, too.
The rest of it is him also.
All right, and then we have, another one, that's it. Federal Phyllis Wynn, $1,172.50. And I understand that she was contracted to do testing on
diagnostic work for special education.
Okay. Now, Mr. Gregory, LPM, Dell Marketing, quote, $1,344, and that was 7 times, totaling $9,408. Hang on. And then Dell LP, $26,508, $26,508, $26,508, $28,800, $28,800, $9,000, $28,800, $6,146.40, $19,864.50, $2,789.10, $16,864.80, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 times, I believe. $4,918.90, $5,522.50, $552.25, totaling $315,888.63.
So these are our device purchases for the year. The way Dell invoices, these are all on single POs. And the way Dell invoices is as devices ship, they invoice you separately. So this is 60 desktop computers for Parkview High, 60 desktop computers for Parkview Middle, 25 desktop computers for Clarksville, 20 laptops for principals, APs, directors, coordinators, 350 Chromebooks for the middle schools, and 220 netbooks that are being deployed to the 2 high schools.
All right, now I understand that this is the finishing up of a contract or a budget that you had set from last year or something?
So this is part of our capital budget for this year. We purchase the way we purchase in July when the new budget becomes available so that we can implement the devices during the current year. So we're spending this year's money, but it was part of our capital expenditures. And then most of these devices will be reimbursed through our VPSA funds, the funds that the state gives us to purchase devices for the classrooms.
Thank you.
Are there any more questions?
Yes. No, nothing right now. Your total number is really $396,445.25.
Well, yeah, the check was $381,
Right.
$40.89.
Yeah, plus the $51.30 to Panda Rucker check.
Yeah. And add that one too.
How much do we pay to Cortez Management for this math program? Every time I look, we're paying them $29,750. How much do we pay them a year for Cortez Math?
It's $29,150 a month.
A month?
I believe.
We pay them $30,000 a month.
We have, I
just wondered,
I think that is a monthly fee. We have 200 and.
No, let me.
You go ahead, I've got the.
Yeah, let me answer that. In that fee, the way Cortez works is there are lab administrators who have to pass a math test to be lab administrators, so they're like an instructional aid that we would hire, and instead of us hiring that person, Cortez hires that person. So within that fee of $29,000 a month, you're paying for individual salaries, really. So instead of us directly paying the salary, Cortez is paying the salary. But we can bring a breakdown of what the actual fees are for using their software and for their employees, and break that down and send that to each board member if you'd like to see that.
I would, I'd like to see that. I'd also like to see the bill from McGuire Woods. We have a yearly contract with them, a retainer of $2,500 a month.
Yes, sir.
And last month, I don't know the number we paid them, but this month was $4,335. Is there any way the school board could get a breakdown of that each month so we know what legal advice we're getting for these extra dollars? You know,
Absolutely, that was a litigation charge. It is not included in the retainer.
I know, but what do we litigate? Because we never talk about it, so I just wondered what we litigate. And since you're the school board attorney and we're litigating, I must know the end of it somewhere, and I'm just wondering what it's spent for.
Okay, well, I can certainly bring you the itemized copy of that bill.
Right, yeah, I don't know what advice I'm getting for it. And I know they're good attorneys, but I just.
Well, this is not, as for the petition that was filed against the board?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
I'd like to be kept abreast of that, because before we have to go to court one day, and I didn't know about it. Nobody's really told us that we're going to have a court date if I hadn't heard it from the Commonwealth Attorney's Office.
I have a question about a possible future bill, not a bill that's being paid, but I understand Parkview High School needs furniture for collaborative learning. How much do they have available?
Parkview High School has quite a bit available in their student activity fund.
What do you call quite a bit?
Their general fund is about $40,000. Their total account is $220 to $30. I have it right here. $223,505.27. Some of these funds are funds for different groups that have earned funds. They come in and out. A lot of the money is general fund, athletic, and behind the wheel fees that are collected at the beginning of the year and put in these accounts. The furniture in question, my understanding is we were trying to do some senior lounges at the high schools. We did not have enough money to do both. We have quoted, we've not purchased anything, and have asked that if Parkview wants this furniture, that it would need to come out of those funds.
Okay, so they have ample funds, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And what is the recommendation across the state with people you deal with in the same position that you are, as far as how much money should be on hand?
Well, I've been in on meetings where the question has been asked, you know, what do we do when funds are not being spent? And the answer from the particular accounting firm that was given the presentation was that at the board and the superintendent have the right to make suggestions and get the money spent. It's really our fiduciary responsibility to spend that money on students, and we are falling a little behind in doing that. Some of the funds we can't touch. I mean, some of the funds have to go for certain things, but we've got a lot of money floating around that could be spent.
Thank you.
Since we brought this up, as a member of the faculty and having student funds, when I wanted to transfer my money to another fund, I had to get a form and fill out and give permission for this money to be transferred. I had to sign it, and it had to be signed by the principal. Is this the policy now?
Yes, ma'am, that is the published procedure.
The sponsor of the money,
yes, ma'am,
has to request it. It cannot be just transferred by a principal.
The principal can request the transfer, but the sponsor also has to sign off on it. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Garner. I have one question about the bills.
Yes. Seeing that we're going down that line of furniture, and I guess you have some paperwork there?
I have a little bit of
And that's,
things. What can I get for you?
did you have the paperwork on the furniture cost there?
Yes, sir.
What's the total cost of the furniture?
The total cost for Bluestone High School, the last quotation I had was $13,939.20. I am waiting on material swatches, and after I spoke with them about what we really kind of wanted in our material, believe it or not, he felt like he may be able to lower this cost because the grade of some of the materials he was looking at were not as high as what he had quoted.
And what would this furniture be used for?
For a senior lounge.
So roughly $13,000 for senior lounge furniture.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And that money is coming from us as far as for Bluestone?
For Bluestone, we had planned to pay it, yes, out of the county funds.
The county funds.
As part of their expenditures this year.
And the cost for Parkview?
The cost for Parkview should, if the same choices are made, would be exactly the same.
So roughly $14,000 per school. So $28,000 in furniture for a student, a senior lounge.
Yes, sir.
It's not a senior lounge, it's a lounge for all students.
All students. I got in on the get the quote part, so.
And this is something that we discussed and planned for, since it doesn't look like there's going to be a new school anytime soon. We're trying to, we painted, we replaced floors at Bluestone High School. We've done a lot of improvements around the various schools, and this was one of those improvements that I have endorsed, and to provide a nice learning environment for our students to go in the morning, in between periods, if classes want to go there. and provide a more open and welcoming learning environment for our students. The situation at Parkview, we had to expand their student parking lot because of some issues, and we didn't get funding for that. So we spent around $12,000 to gravel and expand the student parking lot and put in a sidewalk. So some of the money we had planned for the lounge has been taken up in other areas, and that is why.
So it's not just for seniors?
No.
So any student can go in this room at any time when they have a break?
Well, we don't have it yet. We're still in the planning stages, and I know the students' advisories that I met with wanted it to, we talked about it being a senior lounge and maybe a special area for them. So until we have it, and we really haven't, we'll talk to the principals about that and see how they'll best utilize that for the students in their school.
And I noticed you said we planned. Who was the we who had talked about it?
Who had talked about it?
You said we had discussed it as far as getting this furniture.
I've talked to both principals about it, and as far as I will tell you, Chris Coleman was very excited about doing this, and Ms. Kinley has some space issues and some different concerns, and we're still working. Still waiting to hear from Ms. Kinley if we're moving forward or not. I've heard from Mr. Coleman.
And at Bluestone High School, Mr. Coleman, has the room been designated that's going to be used for this?
Yes.
And what room is that as far as the capacity of students it could hold at one time?
I'm not sure what their capacity is. He chose that room.
He chose that room?
Yes.
I'm just curious, if you're going to spend $14,000 on furniture, what size room? And if it's going to be open to all the students, have you all thought about the amount of time when those students can go through there? Initially, I thought it was senior, but you're saying every student will have an opportunity to go into this particular room as a lounge room or a comfortable room. I would like to know a little bit more about the size of the room. As far as, I don't know how much $14,000 worth of furniture is. And are we talking couches, recliners? What are we talking about for $14,000?
Could you allow the superintendent to report back at our December meeting?
And will that be presented on the overhead so we can see exactly what's going on?
Can you do that, Doctor?
Sure. And these areas and spaces are very common in new schools. And again, the thought was, since we're not going to have a new school anytime soon, was to possibly develop some spaces like this. I know on the visit we took with some students at Parkview, they had these spaces in the hallway that could sit 12 to 14 people. Some of them could seat 20 to 25. It varied. And they spent the same amount of furniture. I got the furniture quotes, and the idea was from these schools that we visited. So other schools are spending the same money on possibly areas that seat 25 kids at a time.
Yeah, thank you.
Can I ask a question?
I was just going to finish up. If we can get a presentation, for example, what rooms are designated, the capacity of the rooms, and as a board, can we talk about whether or not that much money should be spent on those items? That's what I would like a presentation.
And this is not just a lounge. This would be collaborative learning spaces where if a teacher has a special assignment, 14 kids could go in there and work on it. They don't have those collaborative 21st century learning spaces. And I have gone and I've seen some of these spaces in other schools. And so I think that's more what it is, rather than they're going to go in there during their free time and hang out and whatever. It's going to be, it will be utilized. It can be rented. Even at some schools, they actually use the area and have a small business started in there where they have coffee shops in there and things like that. And the teacher rents it to come in to do book studies or, so it's different opportunities and not just a lounge.
Yeah, I would just like a picture versus,
Okay.
Well,
let's move on.
using and see.
Move on with this, and we'll go ahead and get these bills paid. Can I get a motion to pay the
I
bills?
need one more question. If you can hang on there, Jack. Let me, who handles the robotics money? Is that handled out of the local school, or do we handle robotics payments?
Well, we have a fund for robotics, but the way my system is set up, it is the bookkeeper at Bluestone High School has access, Mr. Coleman, does an approval, and then the secondary instruction director does final approval and me. So when they want it, they know they go to Kathy Height, and she will write a purchase order.
Okay. So it doesn't take, we should be able to turn that around in a few days and not
Oh,
for
absolutely.
30, 45 days to pay
Oh,
a
no,
bill.
no, no, and absolutely not.
It's happening, I just wonder.
I try to, I mean, I typically every morning get up and approve purchase orders, so it's an automated system that moves rather quickly.
Okay, I just want to check.
Any more questions, statements? Can I have a motion to pay the bills? Okay. All in favor? All opposed?
Abstain.
Okay. Next thing on the agenda, personnel.
Amended with personnel number 1117.
Can I have a motion to approve the,
So moved.
second?
Second.
All in favor? All opposed?
No.
Okay.
The next item, we're going to have to go back to closed session.
No, we took care of that. Student matters.
Student members?
Yeah. No, we had to go back and close session on that one. We'll get that after the meeting. The next thing on the agenda is to change the school board policy and support services. Can I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
A second? In discussion? All in favor? All opposed?
Abstain.
Abstain.
Next item is the Junior School Board Policy and Facility Development. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second? In discussion? All in favor?
Abstain.
Abstain.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is the Honeywell scope of work. Can I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second? Can we have a second? All in favor?
Discussion.
Are you in discussion?
I know we need to have this work done, but I can't vote for $429,000 without knowing seeing some information, so I'll abstain.
Do you have that so
I
that
don't
what?
have it right now, but I can get it by tomorrow. After you asked that, I sent
Right.
something and said, can I get that? 'Cause I thought it was part of this, and I apologize.
So we couldn't come back out and do it tonight?
I might could go make a phone call.
When do you have to have this approved?
Well, I really need to approve now so we can hopefully do the work over, because some of the work started over Christmas break, because there are certain, like the library is gonna have to be closed for a solid week. The gyms will have to be closed for a solid week. And so we're really trying to work to get this started, hopefully, and use that Christmas break to do that. And there will be other times to do some of the work as well.
Ms. Tuck, do the prices on the initial scope of work that Honeywell presented to us differ greatly in now
I don't
the?
think so. I mean, we had to make an adjustment. We took the central office thing off because I noticed that Bluestone High School's library was not addressed, even though they had said in their proposal that they, that was a need. And so, they had to make those changes there. But the very first one that we sent out, I believe last month, had those prices, the breakdown prices of what each one would be.
So there was no significant changes in any of the prices?
I don't believe so.
Well, there was a breakdown you gave us back in
Yeah.
last month
Yeah.
meeting, I think it was.
Yeah, that tells you how much each, if to replace a boiler or to replace,
Right.
It had those prices.
That's the same information we had to the Board of Supervisors.
So that's the same information we gave the board, and they voted to approve that.
Yeah, this is what the Board of Supervisors are paying for.
Okay.
So.
And they
really-
approved this.
Yes, this is what the Board of Supervisors, the Joint Education Committee came together and said these were our priorities, and they gave us permission, the money to move forward with this. And so we're moving forward with it with using the GSA, contracting with that. And so that's really what I'm asking is that, that we were able to move forward with this project
That information was in the newspaper for, I know, last month and the month before, if I'm not mistaken, about the Board of Supervisors.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Any more discussion? Can I get a motion to approve?
You already had one.
Oh, okay. All in favor? All opposed?
Abstain.
Okay. I'm brain dead right now. And the next thing on the agenda is, reminder of the listings. And at this time, we need to go in closed session. So can I get a motion to go in closed session to take care of the last item of student matters?
Do we need to read the whole thing again? Okay. Second?
Yes.
Okay. Did you have that?
Oh, boy.
What is this student matter?
It's the student, we didn't do the student matter
I'm
in
trying to find
closed
it.
session before, so we
What
have to
is
do
it?
it now and
Is
come
it-
back out.
Yeah.
It
Make a motion that,
It is, it don't make.
we're going to close session for student matters, and I don't have the code that is on.
Y'all know what the student
What code is?
Here.
Okay, that the school board convene a closed meeting for the purpose of discussing student matters regarding religious exemption from compulsory attendance pursuant to the student matter exemption code 22.2 3711 A2.
So it's on
So
leave.
moved.
So can I get a motion? So moved? All in favor?
All in favor?
I thought we had a second. We got to get a second then. All in favor? All opposed, going into closed session?
Okay.
Okay.
And closed session.
We-
Yeah, we might as well just stay here.
We got to leave. We can leave.
Can we go into this room right here, rather than going all the way? You know I'm not gonna slow down.
Okay, hit the right there.
You all ready?
I don't mind. I don't do what I see going on.
Can I get a motion to approve the student matters?
So moved.
Well, we gotta come back out of here.
That's right, brain dead. Ms. Sello, work. Been a long day. Can I motion to come out of close?
So moved.
Certified.
Yes.
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 Can I have a motion to approve the student matter?
So moved.
All in favor? Okay, I'll abstain. And at this time, it's board members' marks. Mr. Wilson, you want to start?
Yes, I would just like to add, when we talked about teacher pay, as someone who in a few years is going to start looking and having a career job, I definitely don't think that my first choice, unless I had extenuating circumstances for that specific area, would be a job that does not have a competitive pay. And I would like to see teachers, not that we don't have exceptionally bright and well teachers in this county, but I would like to see the best teachers have the best opportunity to want to come to our area. And I don't think there's anybody who would not agree with that. So that's just what I would like to add.
Mr. Sturtevant?
Politician, you are a politician.
Mr. Sturtevant, you're next.
I don't have anything, Mr. Bull.
All right.
I have nothing.
I just want to thank the students that came up here tonight and talked about their program. I'm sorry that I wasn't able to go to that, but I think they did an awesome job, and it's an awesome thing that they're working on.
Mr. Edwards?
No comment.
Ms. Hicks?
No comment.
Smile. Ms. Wagstaff?
I agree with you, and the county, our county has to really prioritize education.
There's no way that we cannot grow and prosper without prioritizing education. And I think a lot of things have been, even in Dr. Thornton's tenure, have been brought to light, that we've actually had decades of minimal funding. And I'd never realized how many other counties in this state fund their schools 200, 300, 400% over the required minimum. And for decades, Mecklenburg County has only funded us what they had to by law. And people wonder, that's why we have found ourselves in a hole. We have a hole in teacher salary we have to climb out of, and it's so deep from so minimal funding for so long, and our facilities whole. So if people are wondering why, we've got to prioritize education as a community, we've got to elect people to prioritize education, and it is going to be a long haul to dig us out of this hole, but we can do it. And I'd like to thank y'all for the good job y'all are doing.
Ms. Mills?
On a personal note, I had the opportunity to play golf at the Virginia High School League Girls State in Alexandria, and I wanted to personally appreciate the support from the community and the schools. And so I brought a T-shirt with all the players and the schools that were represented, and I just wanted to show this around to see all the schools that were there. So.
I just want to comment. I want to thank our teachers and all the administrators for a job well done. We have a lot to do, and I hope that we can get the parents involved in our school system. The parents that come to our meetings and so forth are the parents that the kids are doing well. And the students that need the parents to come, they don't come. So we have to find some way of getting them there. And I hope everybody have a safe holiday. And thank you. Good night. And can I get a motion to adjourn?
Oh, by the way, I want to say one thing. They do have a program that if you decide that you're not paying enough taxes, you can pay extra. The county will take it.
Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Second to adjourn.